Get ready to revolutionize your networking game with Marc Jarrett, a seasoned expert in leveraging WhatsApp for business connections. Join us as Marc unveils the power of virtual networking, offering insights in how this innovative approach can save time, money, and carbon emissions. Discover the 2 billion reasons why WhatsApp is the ultimate tool for modern networking.
This episode of the Lead Machine Growth Show is brought to you by Lead Machine, the step-by-step, tech-easy system for getting leads online. Are you struggling to get leads from your lead magnet? Are you tired of seeing low conversion rates and losing potential customers? It's time to revive your lead magnet and start attracting more leads. Download our free report, 10 Deadly Lead Magnet Mistakes That Are Costing You Leads, and learn how to create a high-converting lead magnet that engages your audience and drives conversions. Don't let common mistakes hold you back any longer. Revive your lead magnet today and download your free report at www.getleadmachine.com/deadly. Welcome to the Lead Machine Growth Show, where you will discover how to tackle your tech, master your message, and design your dream. Paul Guyan, the mastermind behind the Lead Machine, introduces you to trailblazers who inspire you to implement life-changing solutions and systems you can model to nurture your leads and get your offers seen by your ideal clients who will invest in themselves and you. Be sure you visit our website at www.leadmachinegrowthshow.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now, tune in and get ready to transform your vision into reality.
Welcome to the Lead Machine Growth Show. I'm Paul Guyan, your host, Lead Machine coach, and founder of the Lead Machine Mastermind. I'm dedicated to helping you tackle your tech, master your message, and design your dream. Whether you're just starting out or looking to take your business to the next level, let's get this conversation started and turn your dreams into reality. Our guest today is super connector Marc Jarrett. Marc, welcome to the show, and thanks so much for coming today. Please tell us just a little bit about how you came to be this networking dynamo that you are.
So thanks for having me, Paul, and good morning. God bless America. I've been networking all my life. I'm just one of those people that really enjoys connecting human beings. It's just that now I'm doing it for a living.
Right. And becoming a professional network, what are some of the backgrounds? It says, we talked yesterday, and you started out in banking and futures brokering and telecommunications. That seems to be a little different than getting into the networking world. But I know that they've kind of merged together in your experience. Tell us about that a little bit.
Sure. So yeah, I cut my cloth in banking and futures broking, but when I got fired for eating an ice cream in the foyer of Coutts, the bank where royalty and very wealthy people bank, I knew that corporate wasn't for me. So I left corporate and became a futures broker, where incredible amounts of money can be made and lost within minutes. It was very, I don't know if you've seen the movie The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
But it was like the UK version of that, a very hedonistical existence, zero values. It was all about the money, honey. That's all.
Yeah.
And something didn't feel right. So I got bored with that. And then I've always been interested in telephony, even since I was a little boy. And I decided to move into the telecoms industry after a serendipitous encounter with a gentleman in Dusseldorf in Germany who was driving a UK car with English plates. I gave him directions. He was lost. And I asked him if he wanted a drink. He said he doesn't drink. He's a Muslim, but he would love to have a coffee. We had a coffee. I asked him what he did, and he told me he was involved in the premium rate industry, which is the 1-900 numbers.
Okay.
And the thought of making lots of money with very little effort really appealed to me. And he was the last boss I ever had. So he hired me, and then I got involved in that industry. And I took a top-down approach, and I aligned myself with the major players in that space. And at the end of the 1990s, I was first to market with something called logos and ringtones. It only worked with Nokia, but back then Nokia had 50% market share. They were huge.
Yeah.
And the way it worked is you see an ad in a newspaper, you dialed a premium rate number, and then the logo or the ringtone was delivered by SMS to the mobile phone. So it was a perfect billing and delivery cycle. And at one stage, there were 14 full page advertisements for these logos and ringtones. But I had the first to market advantage, and I made a lot of money in a very short period of time. I got drunk on the money. Never go to an Audi car dealership when I was very irresponsible with the money, and I bought 3 brand new Audis, which is financial mismanagement 101, because of course the value of a vehicle automatically you lose 20 or 30% the moment you drive it out of the showroom.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a resounding success. And then about 11 years ago, I launched the world's first celebrity chat line. It occurred to me that we live in a celebrity-obsessed culture. And wouldn't it be nice to have a service where you could call and speak to your favorite celebrities? So if you go to YouTube and search for Dial a Star, that was me. It was everywhere for a while. Wendy Williams, Howard Stern, CNN, ABC, because it combined celebrity and technology.
Yeah. And
Lindsay Lohan's parents were on there, and the mother was charging $6 a minute more than the father. So that got the journalists interested. But that was a resounding failure. Why? Because the celebrities kept all the money. The whole point was to raise money for good causes. They promised they would donate money to charity, but none of them did. But anyway, and fast forward to now, I now operate more than 500 WhatsApp groups full of some of the world's leading thought leaders and entrepreneurs. And of course, WhatsApp is a telecoms product.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking to my roots. It's just that I'm using this technology now to connect human beings. Meta, who own WhatsApp, have endorsed me, and as have the United States Presidential Service Center. But there's a huge paradox with WhatsApp. 2 billion people use it. But there are 3 countries that don't use it so much. That's Iran, North Korea, and the United States of America. Less than half of Americans use WhatsApp. I'm currently in the UK. If I was to go in the street and ask people now if they use WhatsApp, I would say 9 out of 10 people do.
Wow.
It's ubiquitous. Everyone uses it. It's the world's most popular communications platform.
Yeah, that's interesting. What's the advantage of WhatsApp as a networking tool? Obviously, there's the ubiquity, but why don't Americans adopt it more often? Because they're obsessed with Facebook, or what is it?
Yeah, it's a paradox, because you guys own tech. Yeah, you run tech,
Yeah.
period. But that's on a corporate level. But on a consumer level, you're kind of behind the curve because SMS bundles come as part of your cell phone packages.
Yeah.
But SMS, and that's how I made all my money with the logos and ringtones, was by SMS. So SMS has got a place in my heart. I love SMS, but it's so yesterday.
Yeah. It is.
With WhatsApp, it supports file transfers up to 2 gigabytes. You can share videos, you can share audio clips. The networking takes place in WhatsApp groups. So it's primarily text driven, which is why I encourage people to use WhatsApp on their computer, purely because the keyboard and the screen on your computer is much bigger than on your smartphone.
Ah, okay.
I couldn't do what I do if it was just on the smartphone. I couldn't just stare at my smartphone for 14 hours a day. So no, I use WhatsApp on my computer all the time. And yeah, it's the ubiquity and the combination of the fact that it's such a powerful communications tool. But LinkedIn plays a key role in what I do because LinkedIn is a very powerful information tool.
Uh-huh.
Because with LinkedIn, you can see where they went to school, where they've worked, who you know in common, who's
Yeah.
recommended them. Whereas WhatsApp is no information at all. It literally is a communications tool.
Yeah.
So that's why LinkedIn and WhatsApp are a marriage made in heaven.
Yeah, so I see. So WhatsApp, then so you meet people on WhatsApp and you connect on LinkedIn and you have conversations in both places. But the WhatsApp is more for the conversations and the networking, and then the LinkedIn is for connecting and sharing information and establishing yourself as an authority and your expertise and that sort of thing. Is that how it works?
Right. So when I
Yeah.
connect with people on LinkedIn, I immediately ask them, can we continue the dialogue on WhatsApp? I
Okay.
take the communications away from LinkedIn because LinkedIn is actually quite slow and clunky,
It is. Yeah.
whereas WhatsApp is immediate.
Uh-huh.
And and it's a two-way street. My networking ecosystem is where virtual and reality collide gently. So a ton of people met virtually in my network during the pandemic,
Uh-huh.
and then they started sharing selfies of themselves meeting in person.
Oh.
And that's very rewarding for me because I know that I manifested that.
Mhm.
I've got a WhatsApp group called Dynamic Dubai, full of people from Dubai, and they've already met 5 or 6 times in person without me lifting a finger. But were it not for the WhatsApp group, they would have never have met.
Yeah.
And it's two-way traffic because when I meet people in person in networking events and whatnot, then I invite them to my WhatsApp group using this rather nifty. This is my business card here, but on the back there's a QR code, and then I can connect with people on WhatsApp in under a minute,
Right.
and it really speeds up the process.
Yeah, that's very clever. It does seem a little clunky to have to type in a number and that kind of thing. So using a QR code is a real handy way, especially if you're in an in-person networking group, or you can also publish it on your website. I assume you do that too.
Mm,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So tell us about a little bit more about the groups. So how did you go about to create a group? It looks like when we talked yesterday, you said, "Oh, you're from Michigan, so let's start a Michigan group." Oh, there already is a Michigan group, and you invited me to it right away. So, how did you curate those groups, and what is your process for doing that, other than having inspiration? or is that it?
Sure. So, a small backstory. I used to be a member of a WhatsApp group that was run by a guy called Thomas Power, who's one of the UK's most prolific networkers.
Yeah.
And I onboarded more people to that group than everyone else combined. But because my networking style is quite unorthodox, I can be quite cheeky and edgy. So I was removed from that group 5 times for bad behavior. And on the fifth eviction, I thought to myself, hang on, why should I expend so much time and trouble populating his group?
Yeah.
And at 9 minutes past 5 in the morning of I think it was the 19th of December 2018, the Virtual International Pub WhatsApp group was born. And that's got no real theme. It's a pub. We all learnt the hard way during the pandemic that working from home can actually be quite isolating.
Yeah, it is.
So it's more of a social environment. But then 2 people started talking about education. So I created the education group, and then 2 people started talking about biotech. So I created the biotech group, and it just snowballed from there. I've now got more than 500 WhatsApp groups. If you're into quantum medical algorithms, this is your lucky day. That's my latest group. I know nothing about quantum medical algorithms, but what I do know is when you get 2 or more people in the same room that have an interest in it, then you have a meeting of minds. And that's exactly what happened when someone else, I mean, it's very niche and specialist, but they just get on like a house on fire. It's wonderful watching these connections manifest themselves. My goal is 1,000 WhatsApp groups and 1,000 paying customers.
Yeah.
And I'm about a quarter of the way to my goal.
Right. And you started in 2018.
Well, I built
Basically
mine
2019.
Yeah.
2019 is when you created the pub, or
So-
just before 2019. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I built my network by serving others and paying it forward, and that's what networking should be about. It's like opening a bank account. You cannot make a withdrawal until you've made a deposit. It's about serving others.
Yeah.
But I learned the hard way that paying it forward doesn't help pay the bills.
That's true.
So
Eventually it will. It may eventually. It may eventually.
it will, and I think abundance is coming my way because I can facilitate liquidity events, deals, in other words, through mergers and acquisitions or a company raise. All startups are looking for investment. I've got a ton of investors in my network, and usually there's 5% on the table. So if it's $1 million raise, that's $50,000. But I had a couple of near misses with some sizable transactions, but the chain was too long.
Yeah.
The more people are involved, the more likely it is a deal will fall through.
Yeah.
And I needed a monthly income. So I teamed up with a company called nas.io, nas.io.
Uh-huh.
And their target market are community builders like me. And they've helped me bring order, structure, and value into what I've created, which is why I'm now asking people to make a small investment to be part of the network. But most people just don't hesitate. They say, where do I sign? Because they know the value in what I do. And one lady joined it in January, and she's already secured more than 100 meetings. And another guy got reported 1,000x return on his investment since joining it.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a no-brainer, really. I can sleep at night knowing that my customers are getting a ton of value. And of course, once I've got 1,000 people paying me £10 a month, that's a decent monthly income for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And now is this networking for business owners, or is it for who's it for?
Primarily business owners,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
but also young people. When young people leave school or university, if they go to indeed.com to find their job, they're competing with hundreds, if not thousands, of other people. It's fiercely competitive. The
Yeah.
best jobs are unadvertised.
Yeah.
So one young lady joined my network just before Christmas. She joined one of the groups. In under a minute, in 50 seconds, she connected with her future employer.
Yeah.
Also, on the other end of the age spectrum, in my Powerful Women group, my favorite group, because I'm all about the empowerment of women. There's a lady there called Christine. She's elderly. She's infirm. But she's got access to an enormous, great network of people in the palm of her hand. So, yeah, it's primarily business people that want to expand, especially business people that want to expand internationally, because I've got 84 country-specific groups, which I've co-created with trustworthy individuals who are really well connected in their country. So no matter what you need, a lawyer, an accountant, a warehouse, a distribution partner, whatever, we can expedite the process of them going global.
Wow, that's interesting. I'm curious about the well, you just mentioned it, you have trustworthy people, so you have admins or other people who help manage the group, or do you manage everything yourself? How does that work?
So I've reached a point now where it's almost unmanageable, but I'm utterly relaxed about it because I knew this day would come.
Uh-huh.
But now that I can afford to hire someone to help me, I will, because about 90% of the messages I'm getting on WhatsApp, I don't really need to attend to. So I'll be hiring someone to do that. And of course, AI is a game changer. I now copy and paste the body of the text from their LinkedIn into AI, and I tell it to create an introduction for a WhatsApp group, which it does immediately.
Yeah.
It's an absolute game changer. But a lot of the routines are always the same. So when people join my groups, they introduce themselves, outlining who they are, what they do, who they would like to meet is the important one.
Uh-huh.
So in your case, it would be interesting podcast guests.
Yeah.
And then their LinkedIn profile, and their LinkedIn invariably increases because up to 1,000 people are seeing it in one go.
Yeah. 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 So I'm a proponent of building an email list, and so the networking on any social media platform, you are at the you are at the mercy of the owner of the platform, and so if they change their rules and and you no longer can access it, or really those followers that you have in those groups are in those groups, if you want to own them or they become customers, do you have a strategy for building an email list from WhatsApp and your LinkedIn model?
I have begun that process, but to be honest with you, email and me don't get on. Over the years, I've had maybe 20 or 30 email addresses. And when you set it up, you have a POP3 or IMAP configuration. It either works immediately or it takes me half a day to figure it out. But I've only ever had one telephone number. Yeah, so WhatsApp for all communications, but when it comes to contracts and agreements,
Yeah.
that's when I use email.
Right.
But someone told me recently that the open rate of emails nowadays is very low. So I don't think I'm missing out on anything by not using email to the max. But I'm happy to be proved wrong. But yeah, when people sign up to virtualpowernetworking.com, I am collecting their email. Yes, so it is beginning to play quite a role in what I do.
Yeah, I think that the people that you're networking with and getting to know, and certainly the communication. But once there's a transaction to be had, or if I'm interested in more from you, that's the point at which you can build an email list, and because those people, then that's an asset. That's a business asset. You can
and it's your asset.
It's yes.
And it doesn't belong
exactly.
to Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can say, okay, these are people who've purchased money from me. These are people who are in the hunt for one of my products or services, and you can tell the difference, and you can communicate with them at will. If you choose to move to another place, you can take your email list with you. If you sell your business, this is my customer list. Your customer list is golden. If you want to sell your business at some point, having an email list is one of your most important assets.
By the way,
along with everything else,
you've inspired another WhatsApp group.
What would that be? Email marketing?
The Lead Machine.
Oh, awesome.
So when you join my groups, I will ask you to introduce yourself, which you can do with the introduction that I will craft for you. Yeah. And then I will say something like, if anyone would like to meet Paul and learn more about his work, please join this group. Yeah. And then anyone that joins the Lead Machine group is a red hot lead for you.
Yeah.
These are people itching to give you their money, Paul.
Sounds good.
It is good, because that way you could take your significant other out for a meal and have 2 bottles of wine instead of 1, if you're that way inclined.
Yeah, more like iced tea and coffee.
Okay.
But that's okay. Let's see, what else? What else would you like our audience to know about these groups and your opportunity that could help them with get started and expand their networks?
Well, if they're American and they don't use WhatsApp, I would encourage them to download it. It's end-to-end encrypted. They are scraping data. Yeah. But to me, it's a fair trade-off, because WhatsApp is free and it's ad-free. How do I know that they're scraping data? It's because we were chatting about the island of Bora Bora in a WhatsApp group last year. And then one of the members got an email from Booking.com, a totally separate company, offering him hotel rooms in Bora Bora.
Bora Bora, yeah.
But, yeah. They have to make their money somehow. And I'd rather be sold something that's relevant and interesting to me than something that's utterly irrelevant. So perhaps not surprisingly, the best way to connect with me is on WhatsApp. If you go to virtualpowernetworking.com and you're ready to risk $12.99 a month, or $129 a year, just click on Get Started, enter your WhatsApp number, and answer some questions about your ideal referral.
Yeah.
If you've got any questions, just click on contact, and then there's a WhatsApp button on there, and then you can ping me a message directly on WhatsApp with any questions.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, one thing that you said earlier was that you use your computer for WhatsApp, and I didn't realize that you could use your computer. That would be more convenient for me than my phone, especially for typing. And I do type pretty quickly, but on the keyboard, you know, I'm all you know, hunting and pecking, and
So
so
there you go.
you know,
Yeah.
so that yeah, that's awesome. And now
So
my son is in Russia, and so when he left, I downloaded the WhatsApp app so that we could connect easily, and that's been very convenient. So yeah, it's something that I'm interested in learning more about. And as I have guests like you and people who are not in the U.S., it is much easier to contact them, especially when they're in different time zones and things like that. So it's
and
much,
it's so easy, Paul. Just on your browser, go to web.whatsapp.com, and you'll see a QR code, and then you marry your smartphone to your computer. Job done.
yeah, yeah. Nice. Well, that's been very interesting. As we wrap up with your final words today, Mark, what are three things our listeners can do today to put these ideas into action?
Well,
Obviously, number one.
obviously, connect with me on WhatsApp. Bear in mind, when you're networking this way, it's not about you, it's about them.
Yeah,
If you take an interest in other people, they will reciprocate.
yeah,
I've never claimed that WhatsApp groups are the panacea to networking. Far from it. They're random, chaotic, far from ideal. But I see them as a halfway house between LinkedIn, which I sometimes describe as the world's least social network,
yeah,
and places like Zoom, Remo, which I helped launch 4 million events ago. It's like Zoom on steroids, or of course in person. So in the Marvelous Michigan group that you're now in, I'm going to go to LinkedIn. I'm going to do a search for people that I know who are in Michigan and invite people to it. And because of the geographical proximity to those other people in that group, you can meet them for your iced tea.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. So what else? Connect with Mark, probably download the WhatsApp app and get that going and try it out.
And try it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it only takes one person to change the trajectory of your business life. And I've got an enormous network of utterly extraordinary human beings. I've actually quarantined some of the world's best minds. I've created WhatsApp groups for Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, MIT, and Stanford. Those are the best universities on the planet. And then I filtered using LinkedIn who went to those noble institutions, invite them to a WhatsApp group bearing the same name. Invariably, they say yes. And, you know, I didn't even go to university. I got distracted by wine, women, and song. So they did all the studying for me.
yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
then if I identified that they are involved in nanotechnology, then I invite them to the nanotech group. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. So an invitation from Mark is go to virtualpowernetworking.com and check it out, get started, download the WhatsApp app, and $12.99 a month US is not very much to invest in expanding your network and getting to know Mark. I think Mark is a dynamic individual.
It's
And
insanely good value, Paul, because
yeah,
what can you buy for $12.99 nowadays? You
right.
know, two coffees and a croissant. Uh, and what differentiates my network to the others is that these networking networks typically charge between 30 and 50 US a month, sometimes much more, and they're only at specific times. My network is a fraction of that, but it never closes. It's a 24/7, always open networking environment.
Wow.
Are you sold?
Yes. Thank you.
Great. Well,
Thank you.
within the hour, I can start introducing you to some amazing rock stars, I call them. Like, I know the lady that turned around the corporate culture of the world's largest bank, JP Morgan Chase. She's making the transition, like a lot of my network are, from corporate to self-employment.
Yeah.
So
A lot of people are doing that.
Yeah, so I'm teaching her how to book hotel rooms
Nice.
because she's never had to do that kind of stuff before. You know, it's she had a small army of people to do it for her. But in the interests of diversity and inclusion, I've also got a guy called Fidel in my network who lives in a refugee camp. He's got nothing. But I've done that on purpose because obviously Fidel can learn from the rock stars, but I think the rock stars can learn from Fidel.
Yeah.
You know, we take things like electricity and a roof over our head for granted, and sanitation. 2 billion people on the planet don't have access to a toilet. You know, we are so lucky to have this incredible technology at our fingertips. And right now, you're about 4,000 miles away from me. Feels like you're next door.
Yes, very true. Well, Mark, thank you so much again. And as we sign off, remember, faith and action go hand in hand. So keep the pedal to the metal. And until next time on the Lead Machine Growth Show, I'm your host, Paul Guyan. Marc Jarrett, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. Have a great day, as they say in America.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Lead Machine Growth Show with Paul Guyan, where we show you how to tackle your tech, master your message, and design your dream so that you can transform your vision into reality. Remember to visit our website at www.leadmachinegrowthshow.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Lead Machine Growth Show.